First, I'd like to welcome you to Right Road Productions' presentation on eating disorders. In a few minutes, you'll be seeing a play, but first I wanted to share with you my life experience dealing with bad body images. Growing up, I was always obsessed with being skinny, like skinny, not just thin, but skinny. I was about 15 pounds underweight, my ribs stuck out, and I couldn't be happier. Of course, as I grew up and my body caught up with the rest of society, I became a normal weight. But what I saw in the mirror wasn't. I would, depending on the day, see a girl who was maybe a size 13 or maybe someone who was 250 pounds. I would see fat rolls and clothes that just didn't sit right. I would gain 40 pounds overnight. And it was really, really horrific, and I didn't know that what I was seeing wasn't really there, and it was just all in my head. I started getting a really unhealthy thought pattern too, like if someone said, "Hey, are you eating?" in a really worried tone, I couldn't be happier. It made my day. But if somebody told me that I looked healthy or I was a normal weight, I wouldn't eat for a few days after that. I also started developing really unhealthy eating patterns. Like some days I would eat normally, but other days I would just eat one small meal a day, or other days I would just eat nothing for a day or two. I didn't think I had a problem though, because I wasn't what you'd call anorexic or bulimic. Of course, at that time, I didn't know that just because you weren't a classic anorexic and not eating at all, or just because you weren't a classic bulimic and throwing up whatever you ate, didn't mean that you were okay. If I had gone to a therapist at that point, I would have been diagnosed with EDNOS, or eating disorders not otherwise specified. Essentially, that means that you don't fit into the stereotype of, or the criteria for, anorexia or bulimia, but that obsession with weight and body image and living unhealthy because of all that is still overtaking your life. Around that time, I was also a dancer and a gymnast, and I really, really loved those activities. But I started getting really self-conscious about what people were thinking about me, so I wouldn't eat before I went into a rehearsal because I was afraid of people seeing me as fatter than I already thought I was. By the way, not eating before you exercise, bad idea, don't do it. I started getting really weak and because of the lack of nutrients, and I ended up getting hurt a lot. I eventually quit both of those activities because I was afraid of people seeing me in a leotard. I lost a lot of friends around that time too because I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to try on any clothes because I was tired of trying to find something cute because nothing I ever saw looked cute on me. I started wearing baggier clothes and things that weren't in style. I wore clothes that were 2 or 3 sizes too big for me, which of course didn't help the illusions that were going on in my head. But it wasn't until I was in about 10th grade that I first heard the term BDD. It stands for body dysmorphic disorder. Simply, it means you have a distorted view of your body. They don't know where it comes from, whether it's genetic or it's social pressures to be thin, but they do know that it causes predispositions to eating disorders. Of course, knowing that you're seeing things doesn't actually make it go away. It wasn't until later when I started getting into therapy and developed a really great support system that I was able to develop a healthier view of my body. It was really important for me to have a good support system who would tell me that I was healthy and that I was beautiful every day, just the way that I was. Even more so than the support system though, it was really important for me to learn through therapy that what I was seeing was not there, and to look at facts like pant sizes and measurements to prove my mind wrong. Something else that I learned through therapy is that having an eating disorder is just like any other mental disorder. It's not your fault, it's not something that you can control, and it doesn't make you a bad person, and it's just something that you have to deal with and recover from. And recovering from any eating disorder, whether it's bulimia or anorexia or EDNOS like I had, isn't easy. But it's definitely something I still struggle with every day, but having that support system and going to therapy is something that made it a lot easier. Since getting better, I've started dancing again, and I'm really able to enjoy life the way I used to. So that's my experience with it. Now you're going to be seeing a play. At the end, you will be able to help the main character make a really important decision, so pay attention.